You're doing everything you can. You're reading books, watching videos, second-guessing yourself at 2 a.m., and still, somewhere deep down, you wonder, am I giving my child what they actually need? Here's what the research keeps coming back to. It's not the perfect school. It's not the extracurricular activities. It's not even how much time you spend together. It's something quieter, something more fundamental. And once you understand it, you can't unsee it. Before we get into the list, I want to say something. None of these things require you to be perfect. In fact, the whole premise of this video is the opposite. What children need most isn't a flawless parent, it's a real one. And by the end, I think you'll understand exactly what that means. Today, we're going to walk through 11 things that psychologists say children need most. Not the obvious ones you already know, but the subtle, specific behaviors that shape a child's nervous system, their sense of self, and their ability to trust the world around them. Number 1, reliability. There's a concept in developmental psychology called felt security. It doesn't come from giving your child everything they want. It comes from being predictable. When you say no, it means no. When you say I promise, you keep it. This isn't about being rigid or strict. It's about being legible. A child who can predict your reactions doesn't have to spend emotional energy bracing for the unexpected. They can relax into the world because they know what to expect from their anchor. Research from John Bowlby's attachment theory shows that predictable caregiving is one of the most powerful buffers against childhood anxiety. Think about that. Not exciting parenting, not stimulating parenting, predictable parenting. Being boring in this sense is a gift. The most reliable parents aren't the ones who never say no. They're the ones whose no always means the same thing. Number 2, forgiveness and being on the same team. Every parent makes mistakes. Every child makes mistakes. What matters isn't perfection, it's repair. Developmental psychologist Ed Tronick's famous still face experiments revealed something that changed how we think about parent-child relationships. It's not rupture that damages children, it's rupture without repair. In the study, when mothers became expressionless and unresponsive, babies became deeply distressed. But when the mother re-engaged warmly, the distress resolved. The lesson wasn't, don't make mistakes. The lesson was, come back. When you mess up and come back together, you're teaching your child something essential. That relationships are resilient. That love doesn't disappear when people fall short. You're on the same team, even when you're playing badly. That message, we don't break, is worth more than never breaking in the first place. And it will be the foundation of how your child approaches every relationship they will ever have. Number 3, validation. If your child bursts into tears because their banana snapped in half, your instinct might be to say, it's just a banana. But to them, in that moment, it is not just a banana. It is the end of the world. And dismissing that, even gently, sends a message they'll carry long after the banana is forgotten. Your feelings don't make sense here. Validation doesn't mean agreeing with the cause of the emotion. It means acknowledging that the emotion itself has the right to exist. Daniel Siegel calls this connect, then redirect. You meet the child in their emotional reality before trying to move them out of it. Neuroscience backs this up. When a child feels emotionally invalidated, the brain's threat response activates. When they feel understood, it calms. You don't have to understand why they're upset. You just have to let them know that what they feel matters to you. Number 4, good limits, the armor, not the cage. The boundaries you set aren't there to make your child's life smaller. They're there to make it safer. Research on authoritative parenting, which combines genuine warmth with clear, consistent expectations, consistently shows better long-term outcomes than either permissive parenting, where anything goes, or authoritarian parenting, where rules come without explanation or empathy. The sweet spot is both. I love you, and this is the limit. Children need fences not to trap them, but to give them a safe perimeter to explore within. When you hold a boundary and your child pushes back, and they will push back, the boundary isn't failing, it's working. It means your child trusts you enough to test you. Your job isn't to make them happy in every moment. It's to help them grow into people who can handle a world that doesn't always say yes. That is the deeper kindness. Number 5, repair. Here's something counterintuitive. You don't need to be a perfect parent. You need to be a repairing one. When you lose your temper, and you will, the moment right after is one of the most powerful teaching opportunities you'll ever have. I'm sorry. I was tired and I reacted badly. That wasn't your fault. That sentence does more for a child's emotional development than 1,000 calm moments, because it shows them that mistakes don't destroy relationships, that adults are accountable, that asking for forgiveness is something even grown-ups do, and that they do it without making the child feel responsible for fixing it. Psychologists call this rupture and repair, and studies consistently show that children with parents who repair well develop stronger emotional resilience. Teaching your child how to apologize by doing it yourself is more educational than never making a mistake. Number 6, empathy. Empathy doesn't require lived experience. You don't need to be 7 years old again to understand what it feels like to be 7. What it requires is the willingness to tune in, to genuinely try to understand your child's internal world, even when it doesn't make logical sense to you, even when it feels disproportionate, dramatic, or irrational. I don't know exactly how you feel, but I want to understand. That sentence activates the same neural pathways as physical safety. Research using fMRI shows that feeling understood by a caregiver literally reduces cortisol levels in children. It is not just emotionally soothing, it is physiologically regulating. Empathy isn't a soft parenting skill reserved for gentle moments. It is a biological need. And meeting it consistently over time is what builds the kind of trust that makes a child believe the world is fundamentally safe. Number 7, listening that gives value. Your child has things to tell you. Theories about dinosaurs, observations about the shape of clouds. Long, meandering stories that seem to lead nowhere and arrive there slowly. And your job in those moments isn't to guide or correct or redirect towards something more useful. It's to listen genuinely without your phone, without the look that says, "Can we wrap this up?" As if what they're saying matters, because it does. Research shows that children who feel genuinely heard by a caregiver develop stronger language skills, greater self-confidence, and better emotional regulation than those who were consistently interrupted or corrected. What's interesting is that the content of the conversation matters less than the quality of the attention. You don't need to give them a life lesson every time they open their mouth. You just need to make them feel like their words carry weight with you. Number 8, autonomy. When you let your child try something difficult, fail, and try again without immediately stepping in to fix it, you're not being neglectful. You're being wise. Peter Gray's research on self-directed play shows that children who are given age-appropriate independence develop greater resilience, creative thinking, and intrinsic motivation, the kind of drive that comes from the inside, not from external rewards or pressure. The key is calibration. Your job isn't to step back entirely and hope for the best. It's to step back just far enough that your child discovers what they're capable of, while knowing with absolute certainty that you're there if they truly need you. That combination of space and safety is the exact environment where confidence grows. And watching your child succeed at something on their own, without your help, is one of the most quietly powerful experiences of parenting. Number 9, boredom. This one will feel counterintuitive in a world where a device is always within reach. Your child has the right to be bored, to lie on the floor, to stare at the ceiling, to eventually, reluctantly, invent a game with a cardboard box and some tape. Boredom isn't a problem to solve. It is a cognitive state. And research links it strongly to creativity, self-reflection, and the development of internal motivation. When we fill every gap, Every car ride, every quiet moment, every waiting room with a screen, we rob children of the mental space where imagination lives. Boredom is uncomfortable. That discomfort is the point. It's the friction that pushes a child to generate their own experience, their own story, their own solution. Letting them be bored and resisting the urge to rescue them from it is one of the most active investments you can make in their creative development. Number 10, presence. You can't always fix what your child is going through. You can't make the friendship conflict disappear, take away the disappointment of not making the team, or undo the embarrassing moment that felt catastrophic. But you can stay with them. Real, unhurried presence, sitting next to them without an agenda, without rushing them toward feeling better, is one of the most powerful things a parent can offer. Research on emotional co-regulation shows that a calm, present caregiver physically regulates a distressed child's nervous system through proximity alone. Your nervous system, when calm, communicates safety to theirs. You don't have to say the perfect thing. You don't have to solve it. A chair and a hug and the willingness to sit in the discomfort alongside them does more than the best crafted solution. Your job in those hard moments isn't to stop the storm. It's to make sure your child doesn't have to weather it alone. Number 11, consistency. There's a phrase that appears again and again in attachment research. The predictable caregiver becomes the internal compass. When a child knows what to expect from you, when your yes means yes and your no means no, regardless of how tired you are, how stressed the day has been, or how loudly they push back, they build something called internal security. They don't have to expend energy wondering which version of you is showing up today. This isn't about being a robot or never having bad days. It's about being recognizable. A child whose caregiver is consistent in their responses, their values, and their limits develops what researchers call a secure base, a felt sense that the world is navigable and that they have someone reliably in their corner. You don't have to be perfect at this. You have to be consistent enough that your child can count on who you are. That is what a secure attachment looks like in practice. Here's what ties all of this together. None of these things require money. None of them require a degree in child psychology. None of them require you to get it right every single time. What they require is intention. The willingness to show up day after day as a parent who is trying to understand, not control, who is learning to repair, not just avoid breaking, who trusts that being predictable, being present, and being honest is enough. Because research keeps telling us the same thing. In study after study across decades, children don't need perfect parents. They need real ones. They need parents who stay when things get hard, who come back after they've lost their temper, who listen to the dinosaur story, even when they've heard it 17 times. That kind of ordinary, consistent, imperfect love is not a consolation prize. It is exactly what your child needs most.